Hello, everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. We're just tuning into the 85th episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. You know, you can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, much more, and all that. And we're definitely gonna get started right here and all that. And so we have one of the rising artists, like in the Toronto music scene and all that, coming straight from Mississauga, like Malton and all that. You know, has dropped like a lot of tracks, like November, Purpleville, Upper Echelon, Bops, Jupiter. He'll be performing at the upcoming event, the Villain like showcase. Tomorrow on April 27th, I think, at one of the most unique venues at Scarborough and all that. You know, he also released a project called like the By Me project series and all that. Like, definitely tap that in, like, just in case too. And, you know, we have Dazzie on the pod. How are you doing today, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. It was kind of a hassle and I have to get here, but I'm chilling, you know?
Yeah, man. Like, I know, like, because, like, we were scheduled to do this, like, earlier on, like, in the month and all that, just, like, a lot of stuff, too. And I'm glad we have this like sorted out and all that, and
For real.
Kind of get in the way and all that, and like, you know, just like even hearing about you from like Kame and all that, like just like with the stuff you have, it's like very like interesting to see too, and like, you know, we'll definitely like get it like started in the way and all that. So, you know, growing up in Mississauga and like in Malton, like what was like the environment like for you growing up, and would you say you had like a great childhood growing up, or would it be very different?
I wouldn't say I had the greatest childhood. I just had your like everyday average childhood, you know? Just being a little kid, like playing around with your friends, doing bad things here and there, you know? It's just the everyday or ordinary childhood, you know? It wasn't like nothing spectacular.
True. I know what you mean. And like around that area, like I know Mississauga Malton, like I've had like a lot of people like on that platform, like Dexray and all that. This person named like Kinza, I've covered her stuff and all that, and like a whole lot of other people, like No Upbringing. And like being in Malton, like there's like a unique music scene too. Like this other guy named I think Kame, who's also making music from there and all that. But for you, was it a big place for music at the time, like as an industry like end, or just as a community growing up?
Well, when it comes to the music I make, like I don't think it was like a big space for all that, you know? Malton is like, I don't even know about the acts that go on in Malton other than like, shout out Savvy J, that's like my boy.
All right.
That's the only act I know that's going down in there that's like doing crazy shit other than me. But I don't doubt that there's like fire there. It's just for me, I didn't fit the niche, you know.
Yeah.
I just make different music.
I know what you mean, man. And you know, what were you like from like birth into like adulthood? Like, you know, what were you like kind of like into like growing up and all that?
Bro, I was into a lot of shit. I was like a very creative kid. I used to draw. I was like into like building models with like clay and shit, you know. I was into a lot of shit. I was like a little nerd, you know. I was drawing into anime, all that, cartoons, all that. I was into a lot of different shit as a kid. I was very creative. I'm like that even now. I'm still very creative, you know. I don't just like make music also. Like I do fashion stuff. I do production. I just do anything I can that's creative, you know. Like I like the whole creativity aspect of everything.
Yeah, man. Like I know I'm gonna save this like for the end and all that too, but like I want to like get into like right now. How did you get into fashion, and how do you define it like in your own series and all that?
Okay, this is a great question because I wasn't always into fashion. Like I started getting into it around like I'd say high school because I just wanted to like dress for myself, you know, because I was going to a high school that was like a uniform school, right? It was in Brampton. I didn't really like uniforms at the time, so I just like wanted to just express myself, and that's where I actually started like tapping into clothing and just like wearing different pieces and garments. And like I would describe fashion as just like just being truly you, you know, wearing what you want to wear, being yourself.
Yeah. And I know with your friend like Angel too and all that, like I know like with fashion, like do you guys feel like it's the important facet like within like the fashion industry, like in terms of like what's going on right now, or like what do you consider to be like the important like facets and all that?
I don't necessarily have an answer for that. I just feel like the most important facet for the industry is just finding like what speaks to you, you know? I don't really have an answer for that because I'm not, as much as I'm like in fashion, I'm not in there like on the like business industry level.
Yeah.
I'm more or less like a couple steps under that, you know.
Yeah, no worries. And to describe your fit like today and all that, because like I know you have like an interesting fit right now and all that. So
Yeah, it's like nothing big. It's a business casual fit. Like it's something like I wore this before, and I was like, I feel like this would be nice to wear on the podcast. You know, I just want to be like presentable.
yeah,
So I just came up with like the business casual and jeans jacket and all that. Like I helped him style his fit also because like, got to like stay on theme. You know, it's the
Yeah.
business casual. You know, it's
Yeah.
just he got more of those dumb patterns and stuff because
Yeah.
that's just him.
Yeah, no. I feel like, on all honesty, I just gotta have more flair to it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's just him. He
Yeah.
got that flair.
I know
I'm
what
more
you mean
I'm more
too.
calm with my
True,
fit.
true. And would you like say like with business casual like that's like kind of like one of your personal styles, or do you have a style that you kind of have like for like an everyday like presence and all that?
Business casual is definitely a style that I like flip flop through like for my everyday. But like I be wearing like the whole streetwear stuff still. I be rocking Gorpcore, all that, you know. Just like here and there, you know. I find things, I put them on, and I just go throughout my day, and then
sure.
I learn the aesthetic afterwards.
I know what you mean, man. Because I
Couldn't
know
help but notice you're deep in thought, probably brainstorming ideas for your next music project, am I right?
Yeah, I've been thinking about shooting a music video for my latest track, but I'm not sure where to start.
Well, Max, you're in luck because I have just the solution for you. Have you heard about Y2A3 Productions?
Can't say I have. What's so special about them?
Only everything. Y2A3 Productions is the go-to for up-and-coming artists like yourself. They're all about helping talents like you win over audiences with their unique visual style, and get this, at super affordable rates.
Affordable rates, you say? That sounds almost too good to be true. But what about the quality?
Oh, Max, you won't be disappointed. Y2A3 Productions has a reputation for delivering top-notch quality that rivals the big names in the industry. Plus, they're all about collaboration, ensuring your vision shines through every frame.
That sounds amazing. But how do I know they're the right fit for me?
Max, trust me when I say Y2A3 Productions is more than just a production company, they're your creative partners. They'll work tirelessly to understand your style, your message, and bring it to life in a way that resonates with your audience.
Well, you've certainly piqued my interest, Ava. I think I'll give Y2A3 Productions a call and see what magic we can create together.
You won't regret it, Max. Get ready to take your music to the next level.
because I know with the business casual stuff and all that, like it is like more prevalent, like even with the underground stuff and all that. I know DC the Don has like kind of like honed it in for a bit too. I don't know if you've seen like the BET like cipher with like good music, like with Kanye, Pusha T, like Big Sean, like Sci-Hi the Prince and all that. They all wore like tuxedos and all
Yeah.
that for like that BET cipher and all that. Coach Ice kind of has like more of like a James Bond type style, like with like his new music, like with the Professor and all that. I mean, Young Chris also did that too with the song with like DC the Don too. So like
Yeah.
it is like very presentable like nowadays and all that, you know.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It speaks to me. That's why I like it.
For sure, man. And to kind of get back more onto like topic for a bit too, you know, what was like your first introduction to music, and you know, who were like some artists or genres that you were like mainly like listening to?
All my music, like all my music knowledge, and like everything comes from my family. My family is like, music goes deep. Like my grandpa, on my mom's side, he was a famous musician in Trinidad, Junior Byron. He was going crazy. Yeah, he passed away like a couple years ago. But all that music, like all like funk, soul, rock, rap, all that I have to thank for my mom. Like the first artist I'd be listening to was like Chris Brown, Busta Rhymes, Wu-Tang, all that, you know?
Oh, nice, man. Like with the whole like Junior Byron thing and all that too, because like even growing up with him and all that, you know, what was he like you know, growing up, like just like knowing that he is like a visionary, like within his like talents and all that.
Growing up, I only ever seen him when I was like really young, but it was just like, you know, I didn't really pay mind to it until actually really recently. I didn't know until really recently that he was like doing his thing, but it was just like your normal, like he was like my grandpa, you know. It was like nothing big, you know, just growing
sure.
up with all that.
I know what you mean, man. And you know, how did you get into rapping and making music, like especially with the whole like rage, like plug and B type sound and all that?
All right, I'm gonna say this story. My sister might not like it, but I'm gonna say it anyways, right? I got into rapping mostly because of my sister. Like me and her, we used to freestyle all the time when we were younger. Just put on like a beat off of YouTube and just freestyle. I used to be mad scared of it, right? Mad nervous of it. But like my family, my sister and my mom really pushed that confidence in me. So I just took it and ran with it. And like the first artist that have like inspired me hella, like crazy, is Ski Master Slump God. Cause I just like the flow back, like especially his old stuff. Like it was very witty, very funny. I fucked with it. But that's kind of how like I kind of got into rapping. Like before that, I was just producing. Like I was like inspired by like Metro Boomin, Pierre Bourne, all those. And then I started like rapping, and then yeah, that's how that happened.
Yeah, true. So like within like 2016 to like 2024, like type wave and all that, from like Ski X, like Craig's Inn, members only, to like Plug and B with like Autumn, like Summers, like all that type of stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's interesting, man. And you know, I wanted to ask, like, how did you meet Kame, and what were they like when you first met them and worked with them? And what were like some advice or lessons that you've learned from them that you kind of implemented within music?
When I first met Kame, like, not gonna lie, it was kind of a pain in the ass to work with. But he was a good person. Like I saw like the potential in him. He was just kind of like, he was kind of on his high horse all the time, you know? Like I'm like a very like, I don't treat no one like in special regards regardless. I just treat you like a human being in the end of the day. Yeah. And he was kind of on his high horse when I first met him, but he saw the vision. He saw like my potential in me. I saw the potential in him. Nowadays he's cool. Like I fuck with him. Like that's the bro, you know? Yeah. But before I was like, I almost like wanted to beat him up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because I know at the time like they were kicking out like Paris and all that too, and like a whole lot of like other people as well too. So yeah.
But I don't think he like taught me much when it came to music. He more or less kind of his like whole use of his falsetto when he's like singing and shit. That kind of rubbed off on me because I started doing it in like my newer projects. Like my song on YouTube, Had Enough. That's like hella falsetto heavy. Like I don't do that like most of the time, but yeah, it kind of rubbed off on me. Yeah, so I can give him the big ups for that, you know.
No, I know what you mean, man. And you know, you actually had like a past collective at one point, Kids on the Block. How did you like form that by any chance?
That collective wasn't my collective. I was a part of it. Kame formed it.
Oh, true.
He just found like I think at the time it was just like a bunch of artists that he really messed with heavy, and he just like brought them all together. But clashing egos kind of messed that up. But that's kind of how it was like formed, you know. It was just like a bunch of people that he messed with, brought together. He thought he could make something, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And like from that start until now, like how was that process? Like, you know, even being within that collective and until like it's like very end and all that, and like what were like some main reasons on how like it ended and all that?
Like I said before, like a lot of people had ego problems. Like you got one person thinking that they're better than the next person, one person thinking that they're better than the next person, but like y'all are at the same like you're right. You're trying to speed the race when you're at the same position, you know. So I'm like, I stayed out of it most of the time. Okay. Like I just decided to be like, you know, like okay, I'm gonna usher myself out of this slowly, but that's kind of how it fell off, you know. Like a lot of egos, a lot of people trying to do some like slick shit that didn't like it didn't like.
Yeah,
no one fucked with it, you know.
Yeah,
that's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I know you already talked about your musical background and history, and like you know the inspiration stemming from like your sister and all that. But like in terms of becoming like a full-time like artist, like even taking from that route seriously, what inspired you to even like take that like seriously and you know just like moving forward with like music like fully and all that?
I seen all these kids be going crazy on like Instagram and stuff and TikTok. I seen all these kids like just popping off, you know. So I'm like, I can do that. Like I already got like it's in me. Like I got this the background. I have the background for it. Like I just gotta just keep on practicing my craft and then I'll get there, you know. Yeah. That's what inspired me, like the youth.
Sure, man. Because I know with the youth too, like they're really like tapped in with the music and all that too, and like I don't know if you're like really tapped in with like DieselCon and all that, and like First Class Fest, like they have like a lot of like underground talent like performing and all that, and, like even with some artists too. Like I know they just had like Dom Corleo, Rich Amiri and all that, Autumn like performing like the Phoenix and all that too. So and yeah, it was like a heavy turnout. I actually went to one of the events the Skip the Boat Fest like back in like February and all that, where they
Mhm.
had like Santa. So I guess like is that like a demographic that you're really trying to reach like moving forward and all that?
Yeah, I fuck with the youth, you know. They're really creative. Like that's the demographic I'm really aiming for,
Yeah.
you know. And speaking of Discon, I know my boy was just there like a minute ago, like Wish God. Shout out Wish God. You guys need to get him on an episode because he be going crazy. He makes some nice music. But yeah, I aim for that demographic, you know, like the youth, because especially in the climate we are today, like the type of music I make is like aggressive. There's a lot of rage built up in a lot of the youth, like because of like just a lot of injustice and all that bullshit going on right now. So I just I make music tailored towards that as like a release instead of like the youth going around doing some fuck shit, like I don't know, like getting into like shit that they don't need to, you know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, man. And you know, if some, like when I was like listening to the music a lot too, like I've got like a lot of like unique influences from what I'm listening to with like BK the Ruler, Duop Kane and all that, Yeed,
Mm-hmm.
Trippy Red, Summers, and like just in terms of your music that you have out right now, are those like artists that you're mainly like influenced by at the moment too, or
If I'm gonna keep it a buck, my main influence at the moment is Playboy Cardi. I like the vibe, I like the aesthetic, but like Duop Kane is fire. Summers is fire. BK the Ruler is fire. Like those are all artists that I like. They're in my rotation, you know. But like my main influence right now is still this Cardi.
okay? I know what you mean because I know he has like this like new voice right now that he's like using it on Fiend with like Ketamine, like all those other tracks
Mhm.
too with Carnival and all that, and with the Camila Cabello sound and all that. So how do you even feel about that right now and all that?
I love it. I fuck with it. I think that sound is unique. Like it's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
Never thought of that. I wish I thought of doing something like that, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because I know there was like some drawback too because I don't know if you know like a Memphis rapper by like the name of like YTB Fat and all that. Like I remembered he called out Playboy Cardi because of like the voice and all that too, because like YTB Fat has like a natural voice that he uses for his music, like that's his actual like speaking voice and all that, and like a lot of people speculated that Cardi stole like his whole like flow and voice and all that too. So I don't know if you've like reacted to that by any chance and all that.
I tend to stay out of all that. The all that like that yapping and all that. I tend to stay out of like the politics and all that. Like
Okay.
it's not my lane, you know. If that's how it is, then that's how it is. If that's how it isn't, then it isn't, you know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, man. And in terms of like who you want to work with someday, like which artist do you want to like definitely like tap in with?
Definitely okay. Like shout out my local artist. I want to work with Deshaun one day. He's going crazy. I want to work again with Wish God because me and him just dropped a song on SoundCloud. The Red Beam is on his page. And then other than local talents, I want to work with this underground artist named Depressants. Boy be going fire. I think he's in New York. I think he's based in New York, but he be going crazy. Like I fuck with it. But
Okay.
also like I want to work with like Destroy Lonely one day. Ken Carson, Osama's son. You know, just
Yeah.
those people. Baby Kia. That would be a crazy collab if I work with Baby Kia one day. You know, just that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I definitely see you with Kid Uzi and all that too. Like he's like this young kid from like Toronto, from like in high school and all that too. Like he's making like very good music. 10K Moss and Wavy Jackson, like they're also like dope artists as well too. I'd see like a collab on that. My guy Calvin Moon, like I just had him like on the pod like a while back too. I think you two would actually make like some good music together and all that too. And yeah, I mean there is like a lot of like dope talent. Who else? There's Josh and all that, I think, or Josh SH and all that. Like he's pretty good and all that. Yeah, no, like a lot of unique Toronto talent
I'll
right now.
definitely
And
hit
like,
them up. Yeah,
yeah, man.
see if I can make something happen. Yeah.
For sure, man. And you know, to get more on your creative process. So like what's your creative process like when making music, and like what would a day in like recording or making music be like for you and all that?
My creative process, I literally just I wake up, I just do my daily routine, brush my teeth, wash my face, get my hair right. I get like I check out one of the beats that my producer sent me. I have two producers that I work with. Shout out Dedication and shout out Axos. Axos is like a producer based in Montreal, aka SOS.
Okay.
Those are the two producers I'm working with right now. So if they send me like a beat pack, I sift through the beats, find something I like, just go crazy on it. I be punching in. I freestyle and punching like everything I make. And just yeah, I like doing that because it's usually like when you freestyle stuff, it comes from like a place within rather than you're writing it and getting everything set down and ready. But that's just like the creative process, you know. I go crazy. That's all, you know. There's not a big process to it.
Nah, no, what you mean, man. Nah, I definitely agree with you. And like, you've like recorded like mainly at home or like more
At
in the
home.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I don't record at studios. I feel like I fuck with like people who run studios and all that, right? But especially if you're an underground artist, if you got the bread to go to a studio, you got the bread to make a studio at home. Like you're just saving yourself a lot more money in the long run. Then like once when you get popping, then you can go to studios and stuff, you know, because you're gonna be out on roads a lot. But yeah, I record everything at home.
Ah, I know what you mean, man. And you know, with like some of the stuff you have out right now, you know, with the Buy Me series, November, Purpleville, Upper Echelon, Bops, and Jupiter. Like, tell me more about the backstory, like, of those and like the inspiration and creative process, like, for those projects.
For Bops and Purpleville, that was just me experimenting, right? I didn't solidify my sound. Even some more in November, but November was kind of like a personal thing because I dropped that on my birthday, right? But for the Buy Me series, I made the Buy Me series based off of when I was starting making music, right? I had Buy Me 1, but that's archived. Like, that's gone now. It's archived on SoundCloud. But Buy Me 1, it was, I'm not gonna lie, that shit was like, it was horrible. It didn't sound good at all, but it's like, you know, it's a start. That's why I called it like the Buy Me series, because everything was like done by me. Like I recorded it and stuff at home. And that's kind of like the process of the Buy Me series. Like it's like done by me or by affiliates of me. That's why it's called the Buy Me series, you know?
Yeah.
And for like Purpleville and all that, yeah, that was just experimenting. Upper Echelon was like a really that album was a really sentimental one to me. Like kind of like I poured a lot of emotion into it because that was released off of just like there's like some I was in like a very like shaky situation at that time. Like a lot of fuck shit just happened before that album. So I made that and I put all my emotions into that. So when I dropped that, I like wanted people to feel how I was feeling at the time. Like especially with songs like Haunted off of it or Durango, you know.
Yeah.
Has a lot of emotion into it.
No, I know what you mean, man. And, you know, one thing that I've noticed is that, you know, as you said, you've experimented with a good amount of like these like projects and all that too. So was it something that helped you like a lot as an artist in defining your sound and like what the quality of like music means to you and all that?
Yes, like I would tell every like new artist, experiment, keep on experimenting, because you'll find something that like that you lock in with that solidifies you. You know, you'll find something. So experimenting helped me like find my style, like my voice, like how I'm gonna continue doing this stuff. So yeah, it really helped experimenting.
Okay. No, for sure, man. And like as far as like your new stuff right now, like even with the stuff that you're gonna be making that's like unreleased and all that, do you know what type of vibe you're on like when like experimenting and all that like currently?
Very aggressive for my album I'm working on, By Me 5. It's gonna be really aggressive. But I'm also working on an EP that I'm gonna drop either before or after it. And I'm not gonna like leak too much about it because that's gonna be something very different. Like it's a real 180. I'm planning on just the only thing I'm gonna say is it's gonna be like very funk inspired.
Okay.
But that's as far as I'm gonna say about it, you know.
Nah, I know what you mean, man. And you know, since Kame's event is like your actual like first time performing, like how do you even like feel about it? And you know, tell me more about like the preparation method for performing for like tomorrow and all that.
I feel fine, you know. I don't feel nervous. I feel like I was meant to do all this, you know. Like I feel like this is like me waiting is finally paying off. Like I was meant to do all this. Like I've done performances like not in live, but when COVID was happening, like everyone's locked down, I had this thing on Instagram. I called it Dazzie on Ice because it was just like a funny ass title. I would just be performing to like a couple hundred people on Instagram, just doing my thing, you know. So it's like it's nothing to me. Like I've already have to practice. Like how I prepared for the event though is like I went to one rehearsal and they said like, oh, you're a natural, boom boom. And then but I what I do at home is I rehearse my set at home. So I'm like really prepared just in case like let's say I miss more rehearsals, right? This was my thought process before like the show. I was like, oh, I'm bound to miss rehearsals because the rehearsal is pretty far away. So I'm gonna just practice my shit at home and get it solidified. So when let's say a rehearsal does come in, I'm really knowing what I'm gonna do, and for the day, I know what I'm about to do also, you know. So I just be doing my shit like rehearsing at home.
Oh, I know what you mean, man. And I know like with immersing, you know, into the music scene and all that too. how is that process right now? Like even like within the area that you're at right now, and were there like other opportunities that you that you had to like branch out and interact with like many artists in your community, or is this like the only one that you're doing right now?
This is the only one I'm doing right now, but I know there's this next event that I just got wind of from my boy, Wish God. It's called Vampire's Prom. I don't know if you heard of it, but it's like this little event.
Yeah, Trade Gold. Yeah. Like I know, like he hosts like a lot of like events like that. Him,
Mhm.
Lofsky, and like they have like a lot of like
Yeah,
underground
yeah.
talent. Yeah.
I'm gonna try get in there. I feel like that's more tailored to my type of music, more my crowd. I'm gonna try get in there. I got just I know Loud Army. They have an event going on also. I'm gonna try get into there. Like they have their ongoing event.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try get into that and all that. You know, I just working right now.
Yeah. I know what you mean, man. Yeah, with Loud Army, like funny story because I actually worked with them for the most part too, with like a lot of interviews and all that. So I've actually interviewed like a lot of like dope artists from there and all that. Like Asura and all that. Who else? Like TJ Roots and all that. Or Roots Mafia and like Kmoto, like L the Leon and all that. Yeah, like a lot of like dope artists are performing there and all that. And I think like that's gonna be the go to for like many showcases too and all that. And like I think more about like Loud Army, like it is like a unique platform that showcases like more within like music and much more too and all that. So yeah, like I think even like with the whole like stream platform because it's like 100% of the royalties like go straight to the artist. So like it's amazing to see you right there like with like the money that you can be making and like everything else too and all that. So
Yeah.
no, for sure. And we just only have like some of these like questions like left and all that. But how do you even feel about the whole like Toronto GTA music scene at the moment? And do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of where the Toronto scene should go to, or do you feel like it's fine the way it is?
I feel like when it comes to, cause I don't hear too much about the underground here. I hear about people who are like known. I feel like everything is very copy paste, you know. Like no disrespect, no shade to them. Like they're doing their thing, they're getting their bag. But I feel like, especially when it comes to rap, because I know in like other music spheres, like Toronto goes crazy, like the punk, rock,
Yeah.
the grunge, we're going crazy. But when it comes to rap, everyone kind of, especially with the people who are known, it's very like sameish, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to bring more creativity, and I don't really fit in with this music scene anyway. Like I know there's people in the underground that be like doing their stuff, like me, but for the overall scene, I'm like I don't really sit in, but I'm indifferent with it. I'm indifferent with the music scene. Like there could be changes. People can be a lot more creative. People can like stand out more. Make like they can do what makes them more instead of just like doing the same sound over and over again. But I digress. You know, like people are getting
Yeah.
their bag. They found the method. So
Yeah,
that's
no.
just how it is.
I know what you mean, man. I know with the whole Toronto sound, Toronto scene, and all that too. I think I talked about this just like a week back and all that too, like on how like it is like kind of like clicky and all that, and like with a lot of like other factors too, with shows, events, all that type of stuff too, and all that. And I feel like there are like different cliques for like different types of artists, and like there's like 50 ways to define like the Toronto underground and all that. And I think there is like no like one main definition of like the whole like Toronto scene and all that because I think everyone just wants to be amalgamated into like different areas too and all that. Like I know there's like the fake underground, the street underground, like the sort of street underground too, and like a whole lot of other factors too. And like I think it just kind of depends on like the situation of like where it's like panned to and all that. But I feel like if anything, it's just unity and all that to kind of have like everyone together to make music, all that type of stuff, and it could work out from there and all that, you know.
Yeah, like the most I want from everyone in the underground scene is just make your music. Not like like just chill, make music, just do what you got to do to get your bread, you know,
Yeah.
or get to where you want to be. That's as much as I can say. By what ways they do it, it's beyond me. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. Like, how do you even like feel about like some of the stuff right now? Like, I know there's like social outcasts where they had like NASCAR Aloe, Spaceman Sack at one point, First Class Fest, which is like a very like big thing and all that. One Track Mind, and I mean DeezCon and all that too. So
I fuck with it, you know. I like it. Like it's bringing a lot of traction to Toronto, you know.
yeah,
I rock with it.
for sure, man. And do you have like any regrets in your life overall, or do you like regret like nothing and all that?
No, I have no regrets. If you live life with regrets, that means you're passing by the lessons that those regrets gave you. I have no regrets in life. They're all lessons in the end of the day. You know, I don't got a single regret.
No, for sure. And, usually I ask this for like every other person, like on the platform and all that, because there are like a lot of people that do want to like tap into music and like want to get to know more about like an artist and all that too. Like, let's say someone from like the West End or the East End or from anywhere like in Canada, like that wants to like tap in with your music, like name like free songs in your catalog that you'd like recommend for any person that hasn't heard about you before, like that would like to know more about you and all that.
I got this on lock actually. 3 songs that I can like the Dazzie starter pack is Turning Point Freestyles, Turning Point. That's on that's everywhere. That's out everywhere. A next one, Haunted. That's like a fan favorite. It's like my most popular song on all platforms. And then a personal favorite. So like I gave you a new one, which is Turning Point, a fan favorite, which is Haunted. My personal favorite is Durango. That's also out everywhere. That's like my personal one. Like that really like kind of shows not more of my lyrical depth, but more or less my creativity. Those are the 3 songs I can recommend for a Dazzie starter pack for anyone out there. 3 songs: Turning Point, Haunted, Durango.
Okay. No, nice, man. We'll definitely like plug that into the playlist and all that too, because I have like a playlist that I update like monthly and all that for like people to tap in with to kind of get people to know more about Toronto and like other acts too and all that. So it's amazing to see and all that. And like aside from the album and like for the show coming up tomorrow, do you have anything else like planned for this year and all that?
I plan on working on a couple music videos here and there. More shows. I plan on doing more shows. I also plan on streaming, either like on Kick or Twitch, More ways to diversify your income,
Yeah.
But other than that, that's the plan right now. That's it.
For sure. And where can they follow you like on social media? And do you have any like closing remarks to say and all that?
If you want to follow me, my Instagram ad is whoisdazzie. So it's WHOISDAZZIE. Dazzie on YouTube, Dazzie on SoundCloud, Dazzie on Spotify, Dazzie everywhere. And closing remarks, I would say for all like the new artists out there, just do what you gotta do, Be yourself. Find something that speaks to you. Make music that speaks to you. That's what you gotta do.
Likewise, man. Dazzie, it was a pleasure like having you on like on the podcast and all that, and on the platform too, to even showcase like this very first like interview and all that too, and like we'll definitely have like more like in the future and all that, and wish nothing but the best to either way and all this. But this is Josh, also known as Yashu, episode 85 of TLOY Talks. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, much more. Like tapping with Dazzie, dope artist by the way too, makes amazing music and all that, and like you gotta support the underground too, like either way too. Like a lot of like dope artists like, are coming from that scene and all that, and support like an artist, either way, so. But yeah, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with Dazzie, episode 85, signing off.